We're here at PressConf 2025. I am with Remkus. He is the co-founder and CEO of Scanfully, among other things. Amazing member of the WordPress community. And I'd love to know, what was your favorite talk at PressConf? Excluding your own. Because yours was amazing.
Thank you. It was also very hard, so I will never add that as a favorite. I think I appreciated Kareem and Ray, where Kareem was being interviewed and kind of helping us see a sort of path out of the impasse we are in the WordPress community with the project. I appreciated the insights he shared. And I think it's one of those, okay, let me think about that kind of things. So for me, that's my favorite.
You've been around for many years in the community.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of evolution in WordPress. What do you make of what's happening right now? Do you see it as a positive, negative, maybe an opportunity for people?
Yeah, so it's one of the things I touched in my my own presentation as well. You can see it as, oh crap, now everything is not the way it used to be, and in a way that is the case. But I think it's important for us to learn how to reframe that and reposition ourselves based on the new information. And the new information is basically saying, we've had it easy for years where everything was just automatically kept on growing. And now we need to start redefining how we want to grow. So instead of just living through it as you do from day to day, week to week, year to year, all that, you kind of have to make a decision. So how do I want to position myself? Because the automatic growth is less of a thing, and no word pun intended. But it's more about making a conscious decision. So, kind of lose the coasting attitude and go like, oh, if I intentionally do this, what do I choose to do in the WordPress community? And I think that's probably the biggest thing that I think we should focus on, instead of just going with the flow and not liking this and not liking that direction and wanting to go there but don't know how. If you're not putting any time and effort into making a conscious decision how you're going to do that thing you actually would like to do, or find your new role with either WordPress or maybe also do other open source things as well, I mean, now is the time to be conscious about it. You have a moment of choice, and I think you need to recognize it as such and act accordingly.
What do you think the future looks like for the WordPress industry, and specifically for bringing younger contributors and adopters in? From my perspective, it seems like there's not a ton of younger people, maybe new people coming in, but you have a lot more experience in the community than I do.
Yeah, it's a difficult question because, for one, I am not young anymore. I'd like to think so, but the reality is you're half my age. So
age is a mindset, right?
It is, and this is where it lies, because the mindset of your generation, which I'm just going to broadly call 20-something,
sure,
is focused on different types of content and different types of how stuff is being presented. We're recording in video, which is obviously a much stronger medium than a website is. That said, a website is still important, and we need folks who understand how to build those from the younger generation as well. However, it is more difficult now targeting that particular group than it has ever been, because when everything is on the rise, the rising tide helps any effort. And right now, it's very difficult to target that particular group because they're either more focused on video content or long form, short form, any form. And there's no education specifically geared for this work. So you kind of have to roll into it, which happened more naturally in previous times and currently is just very hard to target. So I don't have an answer of where are those people. We tried, for instance, with WordCamps, and I've been organizing WordCamps for 15 years. We've tried different ways of finding those people, the youngsters, and it turns out it's quite difficult to find them because they need to find it.
Yes.
So this is if we're finding them, we're pulling them in, but they actually need to push themselves to it.
Yeah.
That's an effective way. And the pulling them in works for a few folks, but it's not the way to go for most of you youngsters.
Got it. So WordPress doesn't find you, you find WordPress. That's the wisdom.
Yeah, I think so. And so for if I've been doing this for 20 years. So when I discovered WordPress, it was solving a problem for me. And because it solved the problem and I had influence and control over how I solved the problem with WordPress, it became fun for me. And then I saw opportunities and possibilities. And then more depth came into WordPress and more depth came in my work. And then my hobby became my work. And then my work became more complicated, but still the right way of discovering what I could do with that CMS, all the options, the features, the plugins, the themes, you name it. And that sort of principle is pretty common for anyone who's worked with it for a longer period. If you start now, there's way more internet already. So it needs to be a more conscious decision of what it is that you are finding attractive in WordPress. And a common denominator most likely is the fact that it's open source and you control your own data. You have a lot of you're in control. So that's going to appeal to certain folks. And your generation, for instance, is very much growing up on closed walls.
Yeah.
So whether that's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Reels, Threads, it doesn't matter what format, doesn't matter which platform, you don't own it. And you haven't seen the negatives of that yet. When you do, and this is how we started, we saw the negatives, you'll want to publish on your own. You'll want to understand, how can I own my own data? And the rise and question and demand for open source solutions, which essentially means you control everything,
Yep.
will expand when that sort of realization hits.
Do you think that people have to get burned per se before they realize that? Like, is there a way to give people that aha moment before they get hurt?
There is. I don't think you need to get burned, but getting burned is for sure a catalyst.
Yeah.
Getting you fast to that. But sometimes it's just insight, right? Like my daughter's Instagram was hacked. Couldn't get back, lost everything there, including the videos that she had, which she had no longer on her phone. Now, if she'd have listened to me, I would have told her, save whatever you have and maybe publish it here. You can even do a private site, but that now she gets it. Now she understands it. So there is certainly a push that when you are burned, oh, okay, now I'm going to take care of my stuff. But I think the whole privacy, security, owning your own stuff is much less of a concern in the current generation. And whether whether that happens through a burning process or an insight process, it's hard for me to judge. But there are more ways leading to Rome than just the two.
Yeah, I heard someone say recently they think that the concern for privacy is dead, even more than 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, people are willing to give Google all their data, and they don't care which web browser they use anymore. They'll just use Chrome and
instead of Brave.
Right. I mean, I do care, but I think I'm just an old soul with my mindset. I've not been burned yet, but I kind of see these things coming and say, I don't want that to be me.
Yep.
But
and it depends on how are you encountering the benefits or the downsides in one way or another. You can observe it and you go, that's not what I want. So as a prevention, this is what I do want. But the concern is definitely different. Privacy, I've taught my kids privacy. They understand. They all use Brave as a browser by default.
Smart. Because
it blocks pretty much everything as a tracker you don't want to have you tracking.
Yep.
And they get that. But, we're also very tired of all the pop-up messages of, yes cookies, how much cookies, which cookies, well, that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. So 9 out of 10 will just click it away, whatever, which is the fastest.
Mhm.
If you say no, or you want to select, there's 2 more clicks.
Yeah, interesting.
I don't like that, so let me
Uh-huh.
just let it come in anyway.
Mm.
So it's a matter of understanding what the consequences mean, and that's very difficult if you've been only on closed gardens and you've never had any moment of true insight in terms of what privacy actually means. And I think there's a difference even between Europe and the US in that sense as well.
Yeah,
Possibly
definitely.
Asia, even a different story. But it for sure is something across the continents where privacy, owning your own data, is just not valued as much yet.
Mhm.
It will happen,
Yeah.
but I think it's a bit of a, cadence going up and down.
I can't wait to see that day.
Oh,
But-
same here.
Well, jumping back to PressConf, you've been to many WordCamps. You founded WordCamp Europe.
Yeah.
How do you feel PressConf compares to a WordCamp? And for someone who goes to a lot of WordCamps, what would you say to them that maybe would make them see that it's worth the extra trip out here next year?
So PressConf is not your typical WordCamp for the sole reason that it caters to a different crowd. So it's more on the business side of things. It's more on the personal learning side of things. It's less about tutorials and learning how to work and do certain things. But the value that you get from being here amongst your peers is incalculable. There's just from simple conversations or simple connections allow you to, if you have a product, if you have an agency, to get, oh, okay, that's a great insight. I'm gonna use that. There's less of that at a WordCamp. Sure, this costs more money. Sure, especially if traveling from Europe, this is a long travel. But it's worth it just for it's a more special type of connection. You are among your peers way more than you are at a WordCamp, because at a WordCamp everybody comes, like the very base users to all the way over there, and everything in between. Here it's more of it's select, but it's the right kind of select if you own a business that operates in the WordPress ecosystem.
Awesome. Well, Remkus, thanks for taking the time to chat.
Happy to.
Be sure to check out his many products, Scanfully, and you asked me to mention another one. I already forgot.
WithinWordPress.com.
WithinWordPress.com. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks again.
You're welcome.